If you've ever received a bad grade or flunked an exam, guess what? I've been there too, and many of us have in the past. You open your test results, the grade that you expected does not come about, and instead, the grade that you see feels like a real punch to the gut. And you have this voice of self-doubt that starts to kick in and questions whether you should give up. Now, I remember receiving my first ever Year 12 assessment back, which was in modern history, and seeing that I had just failed by 1%. And in the moment, I was completely devastated. Just imagine failing your first ever Year 12 exam. But if you look at myself 5 years on from then, I'm doing just fine. And so this video is much of a comeback plan, as it is an important realization that your marks do not define you. It is how you respond to your setbacks that counts the most. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a 4-step system we use here at KISS to help our students go from poor marks to great marks. And so we'll go into resetting your mindset, learning from the damage, building a smarter study plan, and experimentation. Let's get into it. So when you get hit with a setback, so in this case, a low mark, your brain goes into what I like to call panic mode, or a true state of insecurity. And so at this very stage, there's really no point trying to go back to study mode, because right now your brain is in panic mode. And panic studying often leads to burnout, to worse results, and to no clear breakthroughs for you at all. And so the best thing to do at this very moment, at this very stage, is to just take a beat and to take a break. That might mean logging off, going for more walks, touching more grass, watching a comfort show, and socializing more. Because right now, you're in the reset phase. And the reset phase isn't about giving up or losing hope around your academics. It's about coming back with a clear head and recharge batteries. But the only way you can really achieve that is to give some distance from academics itself. Now, once your mind is in the right state, you can consider moving to step 2. But step 2 is one of the more difficult steps in this entire framework, but I'm here to try and guide you to the best of my ability. So let's get into it. So now that you've had some time to recharge your batteries and clear your mind a little, it's time to move on to the little bit more difficult step, which is to actually look the paper right in the eye and to figure out where you went wrong. Now, I know it sucks to see failure staring right at you, but this step has to be done for you to actually improve for next time. Now, some great questions you might consider asking yourself when going through your paper are things like, where exactly did I lose marks? Were they careless mistakes or genuine concept gaps? And what would I do differently if I had the chance to retake the exam? Now, it's important that you be brutally honest with your answers, because if you aren't, you'll be stripping yourself of the chance to actually make improvements for next time. And so what I do at this point with the answers to your questions is to make what I like to call a mistake log for each of your exams that you did poorly in. Now, this could be a Google or Notion doc where you just dump all your insights that you've gathered in regards to where you went wrong. And this will serve as a guidance tool for your future exams so that you don't end up repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So now that you've taken some time to pause and to reflect on the mistakes you made in your previous exam, it's important that you now figure out how you should approach your future exams. But I think this is where students go wrong quite frequently, because they end up studying harder or studying more hours without actually changing how they study. Now, instead of increasing the number of hours you study, what I'd suggest you actually do is use the traffic light system. In the traffic light system, you have 3 colors: red, yellow, and green. Red indicates topics that you totally flopped and have no clue about. Yellow are topics that you kind of get, but you aren't 100% confident yet. And green are topics that you understand thoroughly. And so whenever you're thinking about creating a new study plan, you should always be prioritizing those red zones first, then yellow, and then green. And at this point, I wouldn't be concerned about scheduling study time. I would be more concerned about scheduling actual study tasks. So for example, doing 3 past paper questions and marking them and looking for where you went right and wrong is a much better use of your time than just saying that you're going to study maths for 2 hours. So now that you know what topics you should be focusing your study plan around, it's time to really just experiment and figure out what study method actually works for you. Because let me ask you this: if what you did last time didn't work, why would you try and do it again?
If we want to get better results, we need to change the way some things are done.
And so now you're in the experiment phase, the last stage of the framework, where your chief aim is to figure out what study method will work for you best. And so that could mean for you active recall and spaced repetition instead of rereading notes, or Pomodoro sprints instead of marathon slogs, or even teaching the content out loud instead of copying notes. The important thing to remember at this point is studying is a personal choice, and so focusing on identifying a study method that works for you and that gets you and keeps you in a flow state should be your main priority. So look, bad marks in the moment can feel like absolute failure, but they're actually just a form of feedback. And so what you should consider at this point is how you're going to actually come back, because that's what matters the most. And now that you have the 4-step KISS framework, resetting your mindset, facing the feedback, planning like a strategist, and experimenting till it clicks for you, I'm sure that in your next exam, you're going to see a significant uplift in your marks. And the most important thing to remember from this video is your worst academic moment or your biggest setback shouldn't be what defines you. It's how you decide to come back. It's how you decide to respond to the failure that matters the most. So if you enjoyed this video, it would be much appreciated if you considered subscribing to the KISS YouTube channel, and I'm wishing you the best for those future exams. I'll catch you in the next one.